All right, so we're out here today in beautiful British Columbia on Mount Seymour to ride the Knolly Chilcotin. This bike is on loan to me from Dialed Service in North Vancouver. I'm excited to see what it can handle. This specific Chilcotin has a 170mm rear end and fork, so it's the burlier of the two options, and this is the North Shore, so this should be the bike for it. As far as builds go, Knolly does a fantastic job with their builds. This one has Fox Factory suspension front and rear, as well as these Magura MT5 brakes. So you're getting, again, the good stuff that you need for a drivetrain. You're looking at the GX Eagle, which can't complain about that, and some nice meaty DT Swiss M19 wheels with Maxxis rubber. We got a max grip on the front and a max tear on the rear, so really the go-to compounds for that. Nice stubby stem and an SDG dropper. Yeah, I'll go right.
Get on your way right. So.
No worries, thank you. Thank you.
First we have to get to the top.
Whew, chunky climb. The traction of this thing though is very impressive on the climbs. Takes away a little bit from the efficiency, but climbing up everything, I'd say the biggest thing I noticed is that the bottom bracket is very low, and I'm having to time my pedals more than usual. Both pedals on that turn. Ooh, good weight over the rear. That super long end is probably mostly why. Up and over this maze of roots. All right, so after some good climbing and of course better descending, how's this thing climb? Well, it's got great traction, but it has to be a balance, and it definitely bounces towards traction, so the efficiency is hurt a bit. It's the first bike in kind of a while that I reached down and used the climb switch. The body position though is great. I was a little nervous with the really steep seat tube and really long reach, but those two do complement each other, so it works well here. Switchbacks wise, this is a lot of bike, and you can feel that back end way back there, and you know, still does well for that. Probably give it a 3 on switchbacks, a 4 on body position, and then that balance between efficiency and traction, it's really, I'm gonna give it a 3 for traction, but at efficiency I gotta knock that one more point. The other thing is the bottom bracket on this is so low that I'm not only hitting pedals, I'm hitting the bash guard or chainring. It's just a little surprising. It's been a while since I came across a bike like that, and this one being dual 29-inch wheels, I didn't think it would be as much issue. Overall though, it is a fun bike, and it is meant to get you up there with the emphasis on when you get to turn the thing around. Riding some new trails up on Cypress.
Let's get into the fun stuff. On the descents is where the Chilcotin should come alive, and it does. This is one of those bikes that needs speed, at least for me riding a size large, and I would probably opt for the medium next time. Seymour has a range of trails from speedy jumps, tight tech, skinnies, and of course features. While some pedal strikes can be expected, I was surprised by the amount of times I hit the bash guard on the descent. The first trail I rode was a moderate speed jump trail, and that was a good introduction to the bike. I found the ground after overshooting a drop, so I added some compression to the rear shock. I started out at just under 30% sag and was closer to 25 by the end of the time with the Chilcotin. The Chilcotin carries speed nicely. and made quick work of jumps. This is a big bike, and similar to this Transition Spire, added to my confidence when speeding towards the large lip. I could see this being great on blue steel jumps in Bellingham, as well as Dirt Merchant and A-Line and Whistler.
Nice flap. All right, so we got another new trail for me. Let's see how this one goes.
The next trail was much slower and rockier. On slow speed tech moves, the Knolly did a good job of tracking, and while the back end felt long in the climbs and in the air, I didn't think about it around switchbacks or skinnies on the downhill.
Oh, and a skinny, which is not my skill set, but when you're on the North Shore, I guess you got to do North Shore stuff. That was fun. Oh, drop. We'll do that one more time. Take two.
At high speeds, I really enjoyed the Chilcotin's ability to track, and the long bike was very stable. This was good as long as the hits weren't too large. It was at that point that the low BB again reminded me to watch out. That continued when I arrived at some large rock faces that felt more like dropping into a bowl at the skate park, and these slower speed features again had me guessing my sizing choice. Overall, the Chilcotin loves speed, and the 4x4 suspension does a great job of tracking the ground, even when you're trying to scrub some of that speed. So who's this bike for? Well, the first thing that comes to mind are those riders that like their bottom brackets on the ground. While the high BB position gives a more neutral feel, for a bike with dual 29-inch wheels, this felt much more like the mixed wheel transition control around corners and at speed. This can certainly be a benefit when trying to eke out more speed. It's definitely an enduro rig for more technical terrain, or even if you want something that leans more towards shuttling in bike parks. Lastly, the made in Canada alloy frame is a plus for those looking for a robust platform, and the finish quality is about as good as any boutique bike I've seen.
The Buckaroo. Sounds fun. Got a bit more hung up there than I thought it would. Nice, I like the Buckaroo.
Final thoughts. Sizing is going to be important, and if you can get a demo before you purchase, I'd recommend it. Dialed bike service in North Vancouver can set you up. I saw a reach well outside my preference, but wanted to approach this Knolly as any other large bike because that's what many riders will do. The seated climbing position was good, but downhill it just felt long. The low bottom bracket is another thing to consider. This wasn't my first time on Knolly's 4x4 suspension, and while it did take more time to set up than some, it does reward the process. High speed, check. Chunky trails, check. Bike park, why not? The Knolly Chilcotin can handle it. And now the Loam Score. I'm still workshopping names, so if you have any ideas, let me know. But here's how the Knolly Chilcotin ranks against similar 160 to 170 millimeter bikes. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you need anything for yourself or your ride, by clicking the links in the description, you can help keep the reviews coming.
A lot more skinnies.
New videos drop every Friday with bonus videos on Tuesday. See you next week.
Oops. But I want to do this because it's got wood out. That looks cool. I don't think I missed anything. Ooh, not the right line there. Wow, I didn't know I picked the skinny trail. Yikes. All right, we're on an Empress, I guess.